Hello, my dear knitting community. I'm so glad to be here today with you. I'm Natasha and you are on Lokalama YouTube channel. We didn't see each other for a while, but it doesn't mean that I wasn't knitting. I was actually knitting a lot because our winter was so long and today is the beginning of May and finally we have rain outside. And you know, first time it started to rain, it was so interesting to watch rain after so many months of snow and snowflakes. So I enjoy rain every time it rains outside. I think it's a third time already, but I really enjoy it. And temperature is really nice. It's like +6 and raindrops are so big and it's just so refreshing just to stand outside, like, you know, on a deck and have a cup of warm coffee and knit on something woolly. It's just amazing. I love this weather. I know I will enjoy summer tremendously, but I still enjoy spring very much as well, and my children too. So since we didn't see each other, I have a lot of finished objects which I will share with you today. Also, I will share with you all my works in progresses that I'm planning to work on next week or two. Also, I had this amazing exciting trip to the yarn mill opening. And so I live in Manitoba, Canada, and it's for Manitoba, it's a third mill that was opened. Like, it's a very small family operated mill, and we had one opened like about 5 years ago, and the second one was open, and now it's a third one, and the third one is quite close to me. It's just 1 hour driving away. So of course I was waiting for this grand opening, and of course I went there to see and to experience and go on a tour and to see everything with my own eyes. And today I would like to share with you my trip. And I was thinking, like, you know, should I put it in the end or should I put it in the beginning? And I decided to start with a tour to the mill. And after that we will move into finished objects and then into my progresses, work in progress. So I hope you like this idea. So let's go. So on Saturday, April 20th, there was a grand opening of Austin wool mill. So I was waiting for this day and I was super excited. I took my friend and we drove all the way to Austin. It was a nice, beautiful, sunny day. There was no rain, but it was quite windy a little bit. So we got to the mill and I'll show you how it looks from outside. And it's like quite small mill, so they purchase like not a small building, and then they build it attachment for where all the machines are. And I will for my story I will insert a lot of pictures because, as you can imagine, like a blogger, I was dreaming to go there with my camera and record the whole thing and show it to you. But to my surprise, when we got to this small town in the middle of nowhere, it's like very small town, like about 7th Street by 7th Street Square or something like that. So when we got there, it was unexpectedly, but the place was packed with people. And I asked some volunteers if it was same in the morning, because we got there at 2 o'clock, and they said yeah, in the morning it was packed even more. So I couldn't really record anything or take a pictures, because if I would, like, you would just basically see backs and heads of people who were in front of me. So when you come into the cute room, cozy room, it's like an entrance. Like on the left side we had tables where you can enter your name to draw some prizes. Prizes were really cool. There was wool and knitter's pride needles and crochet hooks and delicious tea, homemade tea. I would believe someone puts together super yummy teas, so you could win some of those. I guess I didn't win because I put my name, but no one called me, so I guess some other people won it. So but it was fun to have a draw. The next table, it was coffee and tea with some delicious appetizers that we could drink and eat and celebrate the great opening of this meal. Then on the right side there was a wall in octagon shape, beehive shapes, shelves, which were in the morning packed with yarn, but by the time I got there, some shelves were half empty, some were completely empty, but it was still they were selling the yarn that was made here on this mill. So some of the shelves were filled with yarn that was spun here and also hand dyed by natural dyeing materials like flowers and stuff like that. And second part, it was yarn, but it was natural, not dyed yarn. So there was Icelandic wool, one strand. They had skeins 50 grams and 100 grams, and prices were amazing. Maybe because they were practicing on this wool, or maybe they always will have this price on yarn, I don't know, but it was good. And when I was going, I knew for sure that I'll buy something, but I wasn't sure, will I buy just random skeins just to try, or will I buy a sweater quantity of yarn? I wasn't sure, but first I wanted to go through and just check what they had. Icelandic wool was awesome, but I didn't want to buy any because I had already knitted myself Icelandic sweater, so I wasn't sure if I want to knit another one. Then there was also local alpaca yarn that they spun, but I also didn't want to buy any of this because I bought already a few alpaca skeins and I didn't knit them up yet, so I thought, I should buy something different. So also there was just local sheep yarn. It was like quite soft and nice, but my eye caught a different type of yarn which I bought, and I would like to show you a short clip what I bought. saw what I bought and I couldn't wait. I wanted to unwind one skein rodaways and start knitting. Also, I had this skein that I spun by myself. It's wool from England, and this rainbow sparkly thingies, it's nylon. So it's kind of like a sock yarn, and I was planning to knit socks and I was planning to knit shawl, but when I put them together, I thought they look very nice together, and I decided to cast on sweater rodaways. And last while I was knitting a lot of sweaters like drop shoulder or Japanese shoulder, but I didn't knit raglan for a while, so I decided to knit raglan sweater with stripes. I wanted to knit a colorwork yoke, and I even found I will insert simple flower from drops, but then I realized that this yarn Wensleydale wool, it's spun quite tight, like it has very high twist. So if I would put those two together, the color work wouldn't be even. So that's why I decided to make stripes, and I decided that maybe I'll just embroider flowers, or I will embroider on a gray body some flowers with my hand-dyed yarn. So that's how far I've got, and I'm using 6.5mm needles, and I don't know, I enjoy it so far, but we will see. When I will finish knitting stripes, then maybe I'll move whole thing on cords and try it on and see how it looks, and if I like it or I want to change something. So but I really wanted to buy yarns that I can right away start the project, not to put it on a shelf, which will wait a couple years for me to come pick it up and start knitting, because this experience was unique, and I really want to wear sweater rodaways, which would be connected to my unique experience to going to a yarn mill. Okay, so we talked about what I bought, and then we signed up for a tour, because tour was like in the next room where all the machines are, and the couple who owns this mill, the husband was giving us a tour, and he told us all about yarn and the process. So we went for a tour. Usually they would let in like 15 to 20 people and walk us through the whole thing. So the place, I'll insert the picture that I found on Instagram before all the machines were moved in, so you can see how big a space is. So they receive a wool from farmers. So before that, a lot of farmers who had sheep, they would just, when they shear sheep, they would just send it to China for super cheap, and they wouldn't make much money on the wool. But slowly over the time, shipping costs were rising higher and higher. So, and in time it was not worth at all to ship it to China. So a lot of farmers were just throwing away the wool that they had to cut off. They had to shear the sheep anyways, but they didn't have purpose for this wool. So a lot of it just went into the fields and stuff like that. So when this mill was open, some of the farmers donated raw wool, some maybe they bought some better one, and they started to practice making yarn. So when they receive a raw wool, first step would be just to spread it on big round tables and take out the worstest parts or the dirtiest parts of wool, maybe some hay, maybe some other stuff. So once it was hand picked by hand, then it goes into a big cylinder that made also out of mesh, and then fleece goes in around and around and around, and all the hay, all the dirt or the dust will just fall out, whatever can fall out. After that, they take this wool and put it in a big washing machine. I don't have picture of a washing machine, but I have picture of a same machine, but the second one where they dye their yarn, and I'll insert it here just for you to see. And that's where they, on a very high temperature, they slowly move that wool in there and it washes. So, and then remaining of dirt or lanolin or whatever wants to come out will come out at this point. After that, all the wool goes on racks that are also made out of mesh, where they spread wool for like over the night on those shelves, and they usually would put a big fan that is blowing on the shelves. And he says most often by the morning wool would be dry already. After that it goes on a belt which leads to one machine with big spikes. So people who do who work on a fleece by hand, they usually have this wooden brushes with big nails where they would just comb the wool to make it more fluffier. And so this big machine takes this wool and then it combs it and fluffs it up, and then it throws it in a small room that looks like a small washroom. I'll show you, but it's just empty room where wool fluffed up wool falls. So after that room, wool goes on another belt where it takes into a carder, and it's like a bigger carder where it brushes wool for the first time. But still, this fleece will not be ready to be made into the yarn. After that it goes on the second carder, and I have a picture of it. Again, wool spread on a belt, and then it slowly goes into the second carder, and the second carder has already 5 smaller but wide carders, and they brush wool there. And after that wool comes out, or it can go on a very big carder which can make a butt for spinning, or it can make it into the kind of like a lace that you can, I'll insert picture where the one that you can spin already. So, and if they want to sell just spinning fleece to the spinners, they can take it already, package it and sell it. But if they want to still make a yarn, they still need to send it to a different machine. And this other machine does what we do with our hands. It's kind of like drafting. But the second machine, it's kind of like just stretches out this lace or strand, and first roller goes slower and second roller goes faster, and that's how it stretches the fleece. So, and after this machine, fleece will be ready to be spun into a one strand yarn. So, and now we are going to the next machine, which has a like very big metal bobbins, and you can spin a couple thousand meters on each of these big bobbins, and it would be one strand yarn. So once it's spun into one strand, if you want to sell one stranded yarn, then it can skip one step and go to the next machine. But if they want to do like mine, like three strand or 2 strand or 4 strand or 6 strand, whatever they want to do, they have a next machine which spins this one strand, combines them, right, and makes them few stranded yarns. After this machine, it goes to the next machine, which has like a long pipes, 2 pipes, and they put this metal bobbins there with yarn, and then machine sends them yarn through the long pipe, and it comes out, and then they can wind it up back on the same bobbins, or if they want to make like kind of cones, it will wind yarn on cones. But if they want to do skeins, then they wind it back on big bobbins. And yarn in these pipes worked with steam, so it's kind of blooms and cleans, and it comes out dry already. And after that it goes to the next machine, which makes already skeins. So, and I think they can make like 20 skeins at a time. So they skein it, and at this point you can put label on, and yarn will be ready to be sold to the customers. So, and I remember someone asked a question, how long does it take to send wool through the all machines to become yarn? So, and he said it's I think they can make, if I'm not mistaken, about 6 full cuts, like from 6 sheep in 3.5 days, like while it goes through the whole process and yarn is ready. If I'm not mistaken, that's how I understood. So, but it was like so incredibly interesting to look at the whole process, especially for me because I started spinning yarn. I didn't do like, you know, I didn't do whole thing like from raw materials to spinning. I just did a spinning part, and it was quite interesting for me to see the whole process. And I think he was also turning on machines for us to see how they work, and it's just incredible. Like, you know, like if you have anytime opportunity to go to a mill, like big one like Sadness Garden or something, or a smaller one like I went to, just take this opportunity, sign up for a tour, and just go and see, because next time you wear a sweater you will have totally different experience to know, because you know the part how you knit sweater, right? But you maybe didn't see this whole process of making yarn. And I was so lucky because last year I was able to go to the farm when they were shearing sheep, and then I was volunteering to clean the cut off wool. Don't know the name. It was like very interesting experience. So I experienced that shearing and cleaning the wool from beginning, and now I had a chance to see next step when cleaning, more cleaning, and how it goes into the yarn. And now I will experience to knit a sweater out of this yarn, so I'll kind of get full experience, and then I'll get to wear this sweater, so it's even more amazing. And I'm super excited, and for Canadian farmers, that they don't have to ship their wool somewhere for free or just throw it, like, you know, on the fields, that it can be actually processed. I don't know if they can make more money of it or not, but at least we are not wasting it. We will knit out of it, and maybe we don't have to, like, you know, to buy as much yarn from other countries. We can use our local alpaca and wool and sheep wool and knit out of it. So I'm super excited about that. That's it, I think, about my experience to the yarn mill. But I'm sure if I'll have opportunities to go to other ones, I'll take that opportunity, because it's good experience. It's very interesting. And even my friend who is not a knitter, she went with me, and she was very impressed by this tour. So now I would like us slowly to move into a section with finished objects. And because I have quite a bit of them, I'll try to go through them faster. I know it's so much better to record videos more often, because you can talk more in full about the process, how you choose yarn, why did you need it, and stuff like that. But let's go into next part. This section I would like to start and show you that I finally finished this beautiful shawl that I was working for a while. It's not a difficult shawl to knit, but it is very interesting because it has like all sides very nice and stretchy, and none of them is, like, you know, too tight, and it makes this shawl very nice and wearable. I really wanted to finish, like last year I think I finished like same shawl but in this color. So for both of them I used kid silk. I think this one is from Knit Picks, and for this shawl I used drops kid silk, and I'll insert colorways on a screen for you for this shawl that I finished this time. So it uses only 2 balls of lighter color and 2 balls of this chocolate color, and it creates like a really nice size shawl. And this shawl will have a name, Shawl Lydia, to honor my mom. And I really like how it turned out. Soon pattern will come out and I'll announce it for you, but it's like really nice project, and I like the techniques, because the first one that I knitted, it wasn't it wasn't nicely done. Sides weren't stretchy, or some of them were stretchy, some of them were not, but I really wanted to find all the techniques that will make this shawl perfect. And of course, if you know how to knit all the perfect size, you can always add different color or make it in one color, add any designs or color work or a lace work to the shawl, and it would be beautiful and gorgeous. So this shawl was my first finished object, and I brought the other one just to show you that I have two, and they are beautiful. So after that, like, my dream was to knit a collection of sweaters out of this beautiful 100% Suri alpaca yarn. It's iron weight, and this green colorway is Monstera, and it has 109 yards and 50 grams. And I just love this yarn so much. So Knit Picks had this yarn, but I think I was hoping they would carry it all the time, but I heard that it was discontinued, so it was kind of like one-time thing that they had. And I bought all 5 colors, and my dream was to knit a whole collection of sweaters. I'll insert a picture. And I was able to finish it, the whole 5 sweaters. So now you can see on me green one. I really love it. And you saw already blue and gray, and I finished this mustard one, and I finished also this kind of wine red color. And that was like a really big accomplishment for me, because I wanted to knit all of them, but I didn't want to put it away for a long time and not finish it, like, you know. But I was able to make whole collection, and I was super excited and pumped about it. And I was promising you that I'll show you all the finished objects and stuff, but my phone is just not cooperating. It's just like cutting me off all the time because I don't have enough memory. I just went and I cleaned a bunch of stuff out of the phone, but I really need to take time and transfer everything, like a lot of old pictures, because I have many years of pictures on this phone, and it just like always like full. So I think I'll stop my video here and try to record another one, but not in 1 month, but much sooner, where I can finish showing you all my finished objects and what I'm working on. But I'll be working on my sweaters that are yarns that I purchased on a mill, and I'm working on a few socks and also a few other sweaters. But I'll show it all to you in the next video. Sorry about that again, and I will hope I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.